Hello, algebra students. Let's review solving multi-step equations. First example says 3m plus 4 equals 5m minus 16. Wisdom principle number 1, examine the left and the right-hand sides separately to see if there's any simplifying we can do. Left-hand side says 3m plus 4. Can't make that any simpler. Those are not like terms. Right-hand side says 5m minus 16. Also, can't make that any simpler. Those are not like terms. Well, my goodness, why do we even bother? Wisdom principle number 2, make sure your letters are on the same side. Did you notice? 5m on the left-hand side, 5m on the right-hand side. We need to deal with that first. Now, I've been talking. I said it a lot in the video that I like to avoid negatives. So, subtracting 3m would be a great way to go here so that I don't end up with negative number of m's. But it's not the only way to go. So I think I'm actually going to go the other way. But if we go the same way, even if we go different ways, we should end up in the end with the same answer. So I'm going to do it because I think a lot of students do like to bring letters to the left. So let's just see what will happen, okay? I'm going to go ahead and subtract the 5m away from the right-hand side so that I can get it over here on that left-hand side. And let's see what our new equivalent equation will be. 3m minus 5m. Well, it's not the end of the world if I do it in my calculator. 3 minus 5 gives me negative 2. Negative 2 what? Well, I was adding and subtracting m's. Now, subtracting 5m is not going to affect that plus 4 I had in that equation. My two sides are going to remain equal. Remember to keep your equal sign or you lose your power to solve. 5m minus 5m, that zeroes out. And what I have left is negative 16. Wonderful. Now that m's picked aside, I can move to get the numbers away from m. And I'm moving backwards, and even the order of operation goes backwards if you recall. So I'll move anything adding or subtracting, first using opposites on both sides. Adding 4 and subtracting 4 are opposites. They cancel. I've got negative 2m left on the left-hand side. My equal sign stays nice and steady. No moving that. And negative 16 minus 4 again. Feel free to use your calculator, but you get negative 20. Now, m's not alone. There's a 2 hanging out, but careful. It's not subtracting from m. The negative 2 is shoved up against m, so it's multiplying it. So if I want to break up that relationship, I have to divide by exactly what I want to get rid of. I can do whatever I want as long as I do it to both sides to keep those two expressions equivalent. Multiplying by negative 2 and dividing by negative 2 are opposites. They cancel. M's alone just like I wanted. And negative 20 divided by negative 2 is 10. M equals 10. Last one. 3/4 times the quantity of 8y minus 4 equals 5y. It's almost like I want you to be not freaked out by distributing fractions, huh? All right, we can do it. 3/4 is shoved up against the parentheses, you guys. We know how to distribute. No, it's not as intuitive for some students when it's a fraction, but that's okay. We can deal with it in our calculator. So if you need to do 3/4 times 8 in your calculator, feel free. But let's see, I know how to cross reduce. So 4 and 8 have a 4 in common, and 3 times 2 is 6. 6 what? 6y. And then look at it anew when distributing again. And the 4s would cancel that time. 4 and 4, giving me negative 3. And on the right-hand side, 5y. And again, if you don't have that skill of multiplying fractions down, that's fine. You can just do the 3/4 times 8 and then the 3/4 times negative 4 in your calculator. All right, so I simplified the left and right-hand side. There's no more simplifying I can do. It's time to start solving. But there's a y on both sides. Let's get the y's together first. I think I'll move this one Oh, either way I do it, I'm going for 2 steps. Okay, I'm going to do something crazy. You guys ready? Oh, I know you hate it that there's this much freedom once we get to solving equations, but there really is. I think I'm going to move the y's left. But if I do that, it's going to leave nothing on the right-hand side. You see how if I have 5y, I take away 5y, there's nothing. So I'm going to do something else at the same time. I'm going to move the number the other way. It's okay. It's okay, you guys. Can we do that? Well, yeah, as long as you do it to both sides. Okay, let's see what we'll get. 6y minus 5y. 6 minus 5 gives me a single y. Subtracting 3 and adding 3 are opposites. They cancel, so y is alone just like I wanted. My equal sign stays nice and steady. 5y minus 5y, that zeroes out, so all I have is nothing plus 3, or 3. Y is equal to 3. Now you could have done this other ways. You could have changed the y onto the other side, or done this whole thing in 2 steps, but whichever way you went, you should have been able to get that. Y is 3. All right, nice job, you guys. Super proud of you.